Hi, thank you very much for joining the session. My name is Moisés Moreno. I'm a Senior Solutions Manager at Pure. I'm in the Data and Fund Institutional in Elsevier. I've been around in the company more than 6 years. The idea of today is to showcase a little bit of what we are doing in terms of maximizing expert finder portals to facilitate and strengthen the research collaboration for relevant research. So basically what I'm going to try to show you in the slides, I would prefer to do it a little bit more in different websites. It's focus in different research trends lately. Of course, COVID is one of those that is very relevant, but also in terms of SDGs and other initiatives, how we've seen some of our customers are using Pure and other tools in order to showcase what they're doing, what the researchers are doing, what their expertise are in those specific topics, and also how strengthen some collaboration networks based on this information. So it's not only about showcasing, but it's also about using this data for some relevant analysis, but as well trying to make bigger collaborations all around the world. So I'm going to start with the SDGs. So in terms of SDGs, the idea is basically how can we address all these big and difficult challenges in order to make a sustainable world, right? So basically what we are trying to do is save our planet, but using research. And this is where we are really relevant as institutions, universities, policymakers, funding bodies, all these different entities that are part of the science. I think it's where we can show how relevant we are. It's like when COVID. Now everybody knows how more or less how the vaccine gets. Is going to get there. What is the process? Or how can we get something done? And what is involved in terms of research? Right, research is not only one person inside a lab, but it's also this is something that impacts our world. So in terms of Sustainable Development Goals, it was launched back in 2015. There were 17 goals with 169 underlying targets. And well, basically the UN, United Nations, they were pushing for this in order to move forward and save our planet. The problem is that we are really, really far from what we are supposed to do or what we are supposed to accomplish. And therefore, they call it the decade of actions from 2020 to 2030. And this is a very decisive moment because we have to take actions and have a clear focus of where we want to move. So this is just, I want to share some of the things that we are doing as Elsevier or RELX group in terms of Sustainable Development Goals, but also showing some examples of how can we use those in different platforms. Like for example, Montclair is using some of those. Minnesota is also using our Pure system, which is a current research information system, to showcase what they're doing in terms of COVID, research against racism, or also in terms of SDGs. So that's the idea behind this. This is in this decade, what we are doing and what we are trying to focus on is, since we have these 10 years to accelerate this research, we are focusing in global health, inclusion and diversity, reducing inequalities, and climate action. So from all these 17 goals, we are focusing in the 3, 5, 13, and 10. And basically the idea is to advance this kind of research in particular. We have different resources. I guess these are going to be available, so please feel free to reach out and click on any of these links. There are different resources, all of those are free. The idea is for improve, learn. There are different trainings, like for example, Research Academy, there are some trainings specific about how can I make research for these SDGs, me as a researcher, me as an editor, or other person, through the publication process and the research process. There are some trainings that are free, and you can look at those, and even some functionalities to get to the right, how to get to the right research based on the different SDGs, which is very difficult sometimes to identify the correct research. And there are different, different publications that establish that the different search queries from different studies are not very similar in terms of finding which are the different development goals. So even defining which publications and which grants or research is really related to one sustainable development goal, it's even complicated. So we have different resources where also we are reaching to the community to get better information. We created a SDG report. This is also available for free, and it's basically what we did in Elsevier in terms of matching these goals to different research and how does that research behaves. So there are different highlights we discussed with different experts in the different topics, and well, we put this together in a document that you can just check, and you can check it out and just download it. Just to give you some key trends and key insights about this, it's well, the SDG 1, that is poverty, is very low. You can see that it's a very small piece in there. And SDG 3, which is it's the one that is growing or having more publications. Energy is a rapidly growing area, which 1.1% of article growth, but is the lowest one in terms of those countries with low income or low GDP. So the top 3 countries that are researching this is the United States, China, and UK. But of course, there is a lot of also Canada is it's making some progress compared to emerging markets or emerging countries. There is a clear focus now on the environment in terms of climate actions. It's one of the highest in terms of volume, and also the sustainable cities and all of that. In terms of cities and responsible consumption is also one of the biggest ones. So this is the focus. The main concern about the gaps in this is that we found that no poverty and quality education are the ones that are less and less, like the smallest ones, and not having a lot of growth, and also not having a lot of international collaboration. So this is something that it's been a little bit concerning. Just trying to, finish a little bit about sustainable development goals. If you're interested in this topic, this side you can go in there and match different research to the different goals. Again, this is just to contribute. The idea is that you can identify and select which ones of those publications are related to which one of the SDGs. This approach is something that we decided to take not only based on, as Elsevier, we started with our own, we started with our own queries, and we shared these with Times Higher Education, and we've been trying to improve those. But also we think that it's very relevant to get feedback from the community in order to improve this kind of data. Also, if you want to work with this, it's open. So in terms of open science, in terms of being able to share data to continue this kind of research, we already published this in Metadata, which is our research data management platform. It's available. This is available, and you can just download the queries, the examples, how we got into those queries, how we changed the different words, how we improved these queries, and why we added or removed concepts. So you can download this and do your own research or your own analysis. And of course, there is like a lot of challenges, right? It's how can we capture data? And this is not only related to SDGs. I know that I've been talking about SDGs, but in COVID, in any of other topics, it's difficult to capture data from different places. It's difficult to expose the expertise, right? We are expert in what, based on what as well. So it's difficult to make it public, easy to access, and also, it should be. We should make it easier. And also in terms of reporting, when we are looking for what the country is doing, or what a group of institutions, or for example in the US, the CTSA, or different programs, how these are progressing. Of course, being able to jointly showcase and report, it's very complicated. So I'm going to show some examples. I'm sure that there are different examples out there, not only from Elsevier, but of course I'm going to show the Elsevier's one. And one of the main requests that we've been having in different places all over the world is, how can I make these communities' expertise and assets discoverable? I'm sure that there are a lot of universities doing a lot of research in SDGs, in COVID, in anti-racism publications, and other topics that are really relevant and important right now. However, it's really important. It's difficult to showcase that, to promote that, and then to do it jointly with other institutions, as a country or as a state, and then also be able to track how this is progressing, right? Am I making the right reports? Can I make a jointly report about what we are doing? Are we helping each other in terms of strengthen these collaborations that we currently have? Should we explore other collaborations? So this is something that we find that a lot of people have been asking. So basically what we do is something called the Pure Community Module, which is basically a way to having your own, as an institution, having your own information, your own data, your own policies, your own objectives, but at the end respecting like the objectives for the country or the objectives of other the state, or I don't know, any community that you are part of. And the idea is that you can showcase individually, but also as a team, as a community. So this is just basically you have different systems that communicate together, and you can showcase externally as a community. And one example for us is there is a community in Amsterdam, for example, for the 5 Amsterdam. The New Jersey EDAs also has a peer community. So each one of the schools have their own peer system, and then they can contribute to the community. So the community can showcase it as a whole, but also it can report as a whole, right? Because it's not only about showcasing, which is really relevant and important to show what we are doing, but also, and what we are expert on, but also about how can we improve our strategy if we are getting like SDGs, right? We are seeing that we are not on track. So how can we review that we are on track? So this is something that is getting more and more relevant. So I'm going to show some examples. Of course, there are more out there, including from Elsevier, and there are some links in the presentation. So if you click on it, you can click on it and see it working live, not only in slides. And it's basically some examples from current customers. So this is, for example, from the CTSA for Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis. So they created their own Institute of Clinical and Translational Science. And basically what they're trying to show is what they're doing in terms of this CTSA that they have. So they are part of this program, and they want to showcase the results. Normally when you are getting funding, you want to show what are your results, right? And for both, right? For the university and also for the funding agency. So this is a way to easily find which are our experts, what they're doing in terms of these projects, and how they are collaborating with other parts of the world. So this is just a way to showcase quickly what is doing this institute, and these are the different topics. What are those topics? So when I'm talking about showing expertise, we immediately think about maybe some keywords, concepts that researchers can put in their research, or something like that. In us for Elsevier, I think it's that's relevant, of course, but also we are looking for other ways like this one. The one that you are seeing here it's something called, it's a technology called Fingerprint. The Fingerprint engine is a text mining and semantic analysis technology that basically what it does is it analyzes titles and abstracts, and it's going to get concepts, matching those concepts to different thesauri. We curate those thesauri because, of course, science is developing, right? So even though coronavirus existed before, this specific one, COVID-19, didn't exist, right? So science is evolving, and therefore we have to continuously curate this. And also we are further enhancing this into something that we call key phrases. So automatically, with machine learning, we start to generate key phrases based on new research coming from Scopus, for example. So basically, the idea behind this is to really understand what the titles, abstracts, descriptions from projects, prizes, grants, etc. Of these researchers from this project are generating, right? And it's not just counting words, because maybe having the polymer word in an abstract, it cannot tell you if it's biomedical, if it's from chemistry, if it's from engineering, it could be anything, right? So this is a technology that also helps us to match which are the big domains of science where we are publishing. So for example, this one is in medicine, life sciences, where we have a thesaurus for engineering, business, and all these different topics. So the idea is, with this, we can really showcase, find expertise. So if you click on any of these concepts, you can find which other people in this pure and in other pures, in other systems like this, are researching in these type of topics. So it's a way also to find new collaboration and showcasing what we are doing. Of course, I touched the point of collaboration. So this is a collaboration map for this same institute. And you can click on any of the bubbles and go and see what we are doing in this country or that country, with which institution, etc. You can showcase your profiles. This is something that it's been very, very relevant. Showcase your profiles, your researchers, and also be able to contact those researchers. So again, you can see metrics, analysis, and the impact is also based, as you can see, this small plum and all metric, you know, like the donut and the plum print. It's also about not only citations and number of publications, but it's also about other type of impact, which is all metrics, not necessarily going to replace citations, but it's also giving us other perspective about the impact of this, as well as the impact of the portal, right? How many people are looking at this? How many people are getting this? Did they go directly to a link? Did they search on Google? We don't know, right? So it's also a way that these kind of platforms can tell you this kind of information that is also useful for you to understand what is your audience, what is the people that is looking for your information. This is specific for COVID-19. The same, you know, the same institution inside, you know, in their main portal, they are showcasing. You know, you see this banner, this big banner in there. It's about, they made a specific research group or research division for COVID-19. So in here, you can, if you click on this banner, you automatically are going to get, you're going to get these COVID-19 researchers. So this was something that the university came to us and said, like, I want to showcase this quickly. I want to demonstrate what we are doing and also find a way to collaborate and maybe help in this kind of research. So they created this group very, very easily. And what they did is they just put these profiles, this research, these networks, and again, you have easily, and because the fingerprint is automatic, the collaboration is automatic, all of those is done automatically. They quickly could showcase this COVID-19. Also, we as Elsevier, we create a portal that is online. You can click on this as well. It's a COVID-19 research portal. So what we did is we took all the research that is in Scopus, we clean that data, and we upload the information from those authors, and we have their research output, but also important news, of course, press media, but also something that is really important, the data sets. So data sets, research data management is getting very important in order to continue research. And not only because you might get more citations, and also not only because of compliance, but also because it's going to help with the reproducibility of the science. And this is really important. Like with something like COVID-19, we cannot get into quick results if we are not collaborating and sharing this data, right? And how can you share data when there is so many formats, so many types of information, so many versions, a lot of people working in the same data? So a way to do that is through the research data management. And that's where we found that well, we are finding that this is really, really relevant. Anyway, in this case, you can go to this place, search by any research or any specific COVID-19 or related information, and then you can go to publications, you can go to the data sets, or you can go to the person or the profile. Again, here is the donuts. You can see the collaboration, you can see the main topics. You can click on those topics and find out which institutions in which part of the world and which researchers are doing these specific concepts or topics inside this COVID-19 research. So this is something that we are using. This is an example from Minnesota. So Minnesota, they added into their profile, you can see this banner in black. They are doing, they are showcasing what they are doing in terms of research, with the related to racial justice. So they put it there, and you can click in there, go to the researchers that are doing this kind of research. Again, publications, data sets, activities, a lot of different stuff related to it. But also, they are exposing now the SDGs. So SDGs are being more and more relevant for all the schools. We are seeing not only in the US, I think it's, it's all over the world. And now they are able to click, you can click on any of those and find through the SDGs 13, that is about climate change. What are we doing? What are we doing in terms of research? Who are those authors? And therefore, how can you contact those authors? So it's also important to use this. And they are trying to showcase this as well in this way. And we can track, right? They can track how much they are getting into this kind of data, into these kind of researchers, and if this is also helping the collaboration or not. Montclair is another example. Is similar. They are doing based on for COVID-19, for just racial justice, and So basically, what I'm trying to show and demonstrate with this is there are different ways, and right now the topics are COVID-19, and topics are racial justice and SDGs, or tomorrow it could be something else, right? So the idea is to have a system that can easily transform and showcase and promote expertise in different areas that you are focusing on right now, and this is something that we are doing and helping some of our users. Montclair, this is Montclair, and this is just another example. Again, there are a lot of different examples all over the world. Oops, I think, I'm missing some of the slides. But something important that before I go to the reporting piece is all the different researchers. There is a contact button that you can configure. So maybe you have a place where automatically you can filter those out and get those communications and decide where those communications go. But also in the same system, you can have this form where people can contact your authors. And you can track all of these using Google Analytics, Adobe Analytics, and that's where also, that's maybe part of the reporting, but it's important for you to know and really leverage all that information in order to improve your exposure and your reach of what you're doing in terms of research. And this is something that you can do in these kind of systems. Well, I'm sure that maybe most of you knows how this works, but basically you can see from which kind of devices are getting into your systems, which part of the world, how the traffic is coming to your website, what are they looking for more, if this is relevant, right? I'm putting COVID, but maybe it's not that important for my portal, etc. So this is something that you can use. In terms of reporting, that's also something relevant. Showcase, it's great, and it's very important. Find the right expertise, but then it's how do I use all these data, right? And this data should be used in order to follow my strategy, follow my collaborations and strengthen those collaborations. Sometimes when a BPR goes to another university to make, well, now we won't go to other place, but when they try to build these collaborations with our institutions, it's really good to know what we are currently doing with you, what what our researchers are currently doing together, what can we improve, and what can we together make a specific program for something in particular. So of course, metrics using this data that we concentrate in one place and we can showcase as a community and as an individual is also really important when you can reuse that data for reporting and following your own strategy and seeing and tracking your progress, seeing if that's working. So these are just some examples of how can you, sorry, I think it's very small, but you can track, of course, something that is very relevant lately is gender on the science. So also you can track how your institution is looking in terms of gender equality for for science. This is these are some examples talking about gender, but it's also there are some examples specific. This is for the ICTR or a specific core facilities that you are able to share, loan, or with the community in order to have research in these specific topics. Maybe you have a specialized facilities, equipment, etc., and you can track how those are being used and how this is helping in all these initiatives that you might have in your institution. So these are just examples. You only have like 30 minutes, but these are just some examples, some ideas of how you can leverage some of those systems to find the right expertise, to strengthen your collaboration, to track that collaboration, that outreach, and also continue creating new initiatives and new strategies and follow up with those at your university and or your institution. And just be prepared for any other new trend or specific topics that not necessarily are the world trends, but is mainly your objectives or what you require or what you are to show what you are important in these specific topics. Please feel free to. If you have any questions, please you can share those questions. If not, there is my email. If you have any questions, any comments, you want to contact me, please do so. And thank you very much for your time.